Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel. This is just a real quick video. I've reviewed Century Spice Road. I think it's a fantastic game. And we are going to be previewing Century Eastern Wonders. This is just a quick video to show you the differences between these games, even though their box covers go together to show a cool picture. But what you're looking right here is Century Eastern Wonders. And this is for players who've already played the game, and you might wonder what exactly are the differences. Well, in Century Spice Road, there's a deck of cards. You no longer use that deck of cards. Instead, you have tiles on the board. These are randomly put out there. Not every tile is going to be in every game. And by moving a ship around on the board, each turn you're going to be able to move your ship one spot, and you can move it more by dropping cubes down behind you, kind of like dropping cubes in the card in the first one. And you're going to be able to use the different spots on these markets here to change cubes in. So the markets are pretty much the exact same, except there is no market for upgrading. So that's essentially, the cards are replaced by that. The cards that you score are going to be replaced by these chips. These chips are over here in the different ports, and you're going to be able to go to those ports and turn in those cubes to get these many points. Now, there's no one port that's better than any other port, so the gold and silver coins from Century are not in this. However, the game does have a way where after a certain number of turns, one of these tiles comes out, so one port is going to have nothing at it after a certain point in time. So you're going to have to kind of take that into how things go. Other differences that are in this game is you don't start with stuff depending on turn order. At the beginning of the game, each person is going to basically picking a packet where you can take 4 yellows, 2 reds, a red and 2 yellows, and a yellow and a green. Now the biggest change, besides, really at this point you can see that the games are very different, but the biggest change is you have your own board down here, and on every space on this board you're going to put these little markets. You're going to be building these markets, or these stalls, to use the markets on the board. And when you build these, I can now change 1 brown to a green and 3 yellows, and you have to pay cubes to other players if their markets are already there. So that can get costly, and there's some more interaction between players. That interaction wasn't quite really there in Century Spice Road. But as you remove these markets from your board, the market you remove is based on the type of island it is. So if it's a Chile island, it comes from this row. When you remove a whole column, you're going to get a bonus tile. And this is also something new to this game, where there are bonus tiles that increase the size of your space. I can make it 13 or 16. Some are just victory points. Some give you cubes. One of the big actions in Century Spice Road, one of the original cards you got, was the card that gave you 2 yellows. Well, now in this game, you can simply just take that anytime you want on your turn. Instead of using a market, you just basically rest and take 2 yellow cubes. Well, if you take this bonus tile, you'll get a red cube when you do that also. This lets you move your boat farther without having to pay cubes. This, every time you build a market, you get to upgrade one of your cubes. And so the game, in the original game, you needed 5 cards to trigger the end of the game. This one, someone will trigger the end of the game when they get 4 of these. Other than that, scoring is very similar. You're going to score points for each of these tiles that you take. You'll score points for any non-yellow cube, and you'll score points for some bonus tiles. That's something new. And you'll score points for many of the different spots that you've uncovered on your board here. So scoring is a little bit different. The game is, I would say, a little bit longer than Century Spice Road, especially if you're playing Century Spice Road fairly quickly. This is just kind of some of the differences. As you can see, they're pretty substantial. So that's pretty much it, folks. Just to compare the 2 different games. I'm doing another video where I'm showing how they work together. Both of them come with a single sheet of rules, except that the Century Eastern Wonders comes also with a set of rules on how to combine them. But I really think I can say if you like Spice Road, you're going to like the new one. But there is differences. One is a board game. The first is essentially a card game. So they're going to have a different feel. The logistics matters more in the new one. But certainly, I'm excited about them. That's the differences I see between these 2 games. I'm Tom Vasel. You've been watching The Dice Tower.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at coolstuffinc.com.